do this year after year?
It's just the fact that this is a life-saving business. And I'm so grateful to God that he saved my life. I came to Montreal to die because I could no longer continue the way I was, with drugs. It took away my NFL career, my family, everything. It just stripped me down. I was homeless here in Montreal. And because of my spiritual life, I was spared. That's the only logical explanation I could come up with. And it was quite evident that after searching for a few years that I was made to do what I'm doing. I'm gifted in the area that of work that I do. And I'm just really eternally grateful. So what keeps me going is just gratitude, understanding that I'm not supposed to be here. That's the first thing. Every morning I wake up, I understand that, you're on borrowed time, brother. You
Why
know,
do you say that?
because I should be dead, hands down. The places drugs took me to, I mean, I used drugs in South Florida and California, in places where people were dying around me daily, all the time. And you can't be so lucky. I've been arrested so many times. I've been shot. I've been shot at. I've been ran over by vans. I mean, the stories are countless. And it's quite evident that I'm not supposed to be here. Most people that have had my career with drugs are dead.
And what kind of drugs are we talking about here?
My primary drug uses was crack cocaine. I smoked marijuana. I took pills. I drank alcohol. And I basically started and ended my day with a joint. It allowed me to go to sleep, and the joint allowed me not to be in any type of reality because I could not deal with the truth that what I did to myself. I just didn't want to see and face those realities. Um, it's one thing to hurt yourself, but to hurt the people that love you and the innocent, as I call it, my children, my wife, my ex-wife, my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sister, my teammates, the community at large, for absolutely no reason. It's it's a very difficult thing to deal with. And being a professional athlete, you're in the public. There's nowhere to hide. Everyone knows you. And so it's a humiliation on a different scale. And it was very difficult to deal with that. So I had to be high. I had to be high.
And what was the progression? You talk about waking up and having a joint, going to bed with one. Did you start with marijuana and then eventually move up?
I started marijuana university. I was a clean kid. I smoked my first joint when I was 21 years old, and it progressed from there. I didn't understand the particulars of the human body and how it works when you ingest drugs and mind-altering substance, and how the body's designed to filter those things out. And so eventually it just progresses on its own. You need more to be able to sustain the same level of euphoria. And I had no idea of any of this stuff. I just got high with my frat brothers, and I was just having a great time, which is exactly what happens with most of the kids and everyone else. Drugs are great. I teach kids that, and I say that because they are. And anyone that says anything different is just an idiot. They have no understanding of what the drugs do.
And how good it makes you
And
feel.
how great it makes you feel. And I was no different, except that I had the disease of addiction, which is another factor that I had no idea what that meant. So I just went on partying, having a great time, and things just progressed to the point where I was introduced to cocaine. I loved it also. I was introduced to pills. I loved it also. And it just progressed from there, and then I woke up one day and I found myself serving this master and serving it well, and it became the priority over everything. And I was completely, in the rooms of recovery, it says cunning, baffling, but most of all powerful. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the power of this thing, or how, you could seemingly be the kind of man I was, where I grew up poor, and I accomplished a great thing by being in the number one league on the planet, the NFL, And you would think that I would be the individual that would appreciate it more than the norm because of my background. And this thing overtook me to where nothing else mattered. And I didn't understand the power. And that's what I try to bring to the children today, the power of this thing. You understand? You'll go into it having a great time, but slowly but surely, there's some things that you have to take note of in your character and your behavior. And because I've experienced it, the children will listen, and they'll get it. Even though they get it today, it's the challenge then becomes, how do I separate myself from my lover? Because my lover is so good to me and is always there when I need her. And that's a tough thing.
So what was the turning point for you that brought you to Montreal, where you said you came to die?
The turning point was I was in a building in DeCarey, and I was in a crack apartment, and I decided to take my life by ingesting a speedball, which is a combination of cocaine and heroin together. And as I was preparing to take my life, because I put the whole speedball on the pipe, which would have killed me in 10 seconds or less, there was a paper there. And the paper said, DADA, African Descendants Against Drugs. This meeting doesn't exist anymore today, but there was a number on there, and I called. And the gentleman that came, which is Gabriel, M, I don't think he wanted me anonymity. I remember Gabe. He came and he told me if I want out of this darkness, he'll show me the way out. And that was in April the 8th, 1993. And that started my path to recovery. But it wasn't, let's just say it was very colorful.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, because I'm a hard head.
Yeah.
I'm the presidente of hard-headedness, and I've always wanted to do things my way. And the 12-step program, which is what he was trying to teach me early on, I just said, you know what, in the fourth and fifth step, it says that you have to take your personal inventory, and you have to do this whole assessment thing, self-assessment, where you write down your fears and anger, blah, 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 and you dredge up all the things that happen to you, the people you have resentments against, you're angry with, so on and so forth. And it's very, very tedious and very detailed. And then in the fifth step, you have to sit down and regurgitate all that to someone that you trust. And I was like, hold on, I'm not, first of all, let dead dogs lie. You know what I mean? I ain't doing all this. And I definitely ain't going to tell nobody because I have to kill him. Like Mission Impossible, you're dead. But no, but hey, I didn't do it. And consequently, 2 weeks before my 2 years supposedly clean, because I was still smoking weed, I relapsed on crack cocaine.
After 2 years.
Yeah. And it really taught me something. It really taught me that, Alvin, you don't know anything. And you need to humble yourself and listen, and really listen, and follow instructions. And, I was with a lady at the time. She was pregnant with my 19-year-old, and she left me. She says, there's no way. Yeah, you're going to know our daughter. There's no way. And it shook me up, and that really started listening then, and started to really learn the 12-step program and follow exactly the suggestions that were made to me and carry out the actions, that were suggested to me, and it really started changing my life. That's when I started getting into speaking in the rooms of recovery. That's when people said, you have a talent. People listen to you, and people wanted me to help them get off drugs. And it sort of snowballed from there, and doors started opening up, and I tried so many different things, 'cause I still had this thing in me where I wasn't convinced that I was a drug addict. Okay, I messed up, but, and so I tried different things. I went into the security business and went into acting and different things, and it wasn't until I got back to Montreal off the Britney Spears tour that a rabbi called me and said, listen, we have a position for you in our crisis center. We think you're the guy. And working with addicts coming off the street at this crisis center was where I discovered why God created me. It was